Okay, so good afternoon. Welcome to You Are Beginning. As we get started, I'll just introduce myself. So my name is Erica. I'm the coordinator of student recruitment and marketing. And Melissa is here with us as well. And she's the Faculty of Engineering academic advisor. So today we're going to go through some different topics. So we'll talk about the history of the U of R, some of the differences between university and high school, certain terminology that might be new to you, student supports, success, your different orientation opportunities, how to get involved, and then at the end we'll do some academic advising with Melissa. So the U of R had an original enrollment of 27 students, and we've now grown to an amazing body of 16,500, so of which now you are one, so congratulations. So when you graduate from here, you'll be joining a family of about 70,000 alumni worldwide. In addition to our two Regina campuses, we have campuses in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, and we also deliver programming to 25 satellite locations across Saskatchewan, as north as Meadow Lake and La Ronge. So if you are home in the summer, and I mean right now everybody's taking kind of virtual classes and stuff like that, so you can always take a class close to home. So you'll be receiving an education that provides knowledge that will challenge the way you think, your different opinions and ideas, which will allow you in turn to challenge others and build lifelong skills that will bring you success no matter the job or profession that you choose. So your education at the U of R will give you critical thinking, research, applied skills, and knowledge that will last a lifetime and will be applicable for numerous jobs. How do we achieve this? Well, we provide knowledge in the classroom, but then you'll be allowed to put that knowledge to use in a job-like setting through one of our many co-op, internship, or practicum placements. And we back this up with a guarantee that you will find skilled employment. So Melissa will be talking about co-op in a little bit here. We are a family of institutions. So if you've ever heard of Campion College, Luther College, or First Nations University of Canada, those are our federated colleges. So they're the colleges that are affiliated with the University of Regina. But since you're not enrolled through a federated college, you will actually be, your home base will be through the Faculty of Engineering. So there will be certain courses that are offered through some of these Fed colleges. So when we're going through the visual schedule builder and course selection, you will see some of those different options. So what's different in university? Well, number one is you are. So when you come here, you're an adult. You have different responsibilities. This is somewhere you're going to be responsible for the choices you make, the classes that you take, and the assignments that you hand in. Deadlines, rules, and misconduct are taken very seriously, and we just want to make sure you take responsibility for what you do while you're here. So it also means that your parents' roles change. Provincial law prohibits us from sharing your information, so things like marks, tuition fees, class lists, those all have to go through with your permission. So that's just a conversation to have with your parents if they happen to be footing the bill or anything like that. Another difference is the difference between high school classes and university. So we usually talk about them and kind of say it's opposite, because in high school, you're in class almost the whole day, like say 8:30, 3:30 type of thing. And then you have maybe a couple of hours of homework. And we usually say it's kind of the opposite in university, where you're maybe in classes for 2 to 3 hours of the day because each course is about an hour. And then we really want you to be taking the initiative to be studying and doing your coursework at home. So this is due in part of the limited amount of time that your professors have to cover material. But again, it's just kind of a reminder that things will look differently. And the way that your profs versus your teachers in high school run their classes will be a bit different as well. This is not to scare you, but we usually just want to give you a reminder that sometimes there is about a 10% average grade drop. It doesn't happen to everybody, but we do want to put it out there so that you're not crazily disappointed if that does happen to you. But don't worry, because the university offers great services to help you succeed. So don't be afraid to talk to your professors about ways to improve your grades, create study groups with your classmates, and there are many ways available for you to improve and maintain your grades. So these are some, like the things we talked about: talking to your professors, using the free tutoring services, and the Student Success Center always has like many different ways, different workshops that you can attend. There are different writing workshops, math, stats, tutoring, that type of stuff. So when in doubt, visit the Student Success Center and they will help you out with that. Some of the new terminology that you will maybe come across, well, no, you will come across this, is your credit hours. So one course is equivalent to 3 credit hours. So when you are signing up for your classes, one of your courses is equivalent to 3 credit hours. And as a full-time student, that's 9 to 15 credit hours. So 3 to 5 courses. Part-time is 3 to 6 credit hours. Melissa will be talking about this in a little bit, just to talk about the program requirements, and they'll kind of lead you on that. For grading, so we grade generally using number grades, so from a 0 to 100, but there are also some letter grades. So a W means that you are dropping the class by the deadline, so it's neutral and it doesn't affect your mark. The P and F, P means you passed, F means you failed, so it's pass-fail class. So these courses don't have a numerical grade, but you do have to pass the course if it is a requirement of your program. So for example, I had a computer lab that I had that was just pass-fail. So you wouldn't get a numerical grade with it, but you would have to pass it in order to fulfill that requirement. NP means not passed. So unlike the PF or the W, it does have a numerical grade and it's equivalent to 40%. So that will impact your grade point calculations. And then XF is a misconduct failure, and that is equivalent to 0. So that would be things that would be like plagiarizing, cheating, so academic misconduct. And we're just hoping that you guys never have to deal with that, because you will not have academic misconduct. So professors, they're experts in their subjects. So not just teachers, they are experts and they're active researchers. So their duties are to be active researchers that are contributing to the academic knowledge and to be teachers to you. So if you're running into an issue with an assignment or a topic in class, make sure to talk to your professor. You could talk to them before or after your classes. Generally, you will be given a syllabus at the beginning of your course that just tells you when their office hours are. So those are the times that you can meet with them and ask them any questions like that. So don't be afraid to talk to your professors. They won't know that you're struggling unless you reach out for help. So we always just want to point out that you should contact them if you need to. Your academic advisors are your go-to people, basically for anything on campus, or at least they'll be able to lead you to the right spot. So if you need any help changing your class schedule or anything like that, just make sure to book an appointment with your advisor. And we will be talking a little bit about that in a little bit, but this will include things like dropping your classes or changing your schedule, because that might affect your degree or your programs just in ways that you don't realize unless you do talk to an advisor. So always check in with them if you're planning on making any schedule changes. A UR Guarantee advisor is Someone who offers personalized support. So we generally talk, I don't know how many, have any of you heard of the You Are Guaranteed program? If you have, you can raise your hand. Nobody? Okay, so the You Are Guaranteed program is, so we talk about the Student Success Center as a bridge to help you from kind of high school to university, the transition there. And the You Are Guaranteed program is kind of the transition program from a degree to a career. So sometimes we talk about that as just kind of one of the building steps. So you will receive different supports like resume building, interview prep, those types of things, as you're preparing maybe for your co-op placements and things like that. And they'll just kind of tell you about different experience and volunteer opportunities as well. And the actual URG, or the guarantee between the university and you, is that if you don't find a job within your field 6 months after you graduate, you can come back for a free year of undergraduate study. So this is a list of some of the different supports that you have available to you. So some through the Student Success Center, the Advising in Career Education, and the Tatawau Student Center. So there are different workshops that you can attend, and they have workshops like how to succeed in your first semester, how to budget your money, how to take notes in class, things like that that you don't really think of until you're in class and you're like, I don't know how to do this. How should I be writing an essay? Things like that. And yeah, so those are just some of the support systems that you have at the U of R. So first year success, these are some of the important dates that you might want to take note of. So open registration for first year students started on April 30th, and the first day of classes will be September 2nd. And then some of those other days are just when you can drop your classes without penalty. So one of the things that you want to note is you can't just not go to your class. It doesn't mean that you've dropped it. You do have to drop it physically, or technically, I guess. Again, you'll work with your academic advisors to figure out your schedule and what you should be taking and what you can drop in order to still fulfill your requirements. So we had talked about your course syllabus from your professors. So one of the suggestions we give is basically write down all of your assignments and exams from all of your professors in a day planner so that you know when they're coming up. I believe Melissa's going to talk about it too, but they're not going to be reminding you every day of, oh, we have this coming up, oh, we have this. The expectation is that you will have them ready to go for your assignments and your exams. Sometimes, obviously, they still want you to succeed and they'll still do some reminders, but a lot more of the responsibility is put on you once you reach university. So we always just want to remind you to use your time efficiently. Time management is probably one of the biggest transitions. So you just want to make sure, or do your best not to do the cruise and cram. So if you're a fellow procrastinator like me, you'll just have to learn to adjust your schedule and figure out what works best for you. Some other ways of funding your education. So this is just talking about student loans, when your tuition is due, and things like that. And if you do have questions, you can always email us about if you require funding or help with student loans. We have staff members that are available to help with that. Summer orientation, there will be a few different options for you, a variety of options online, but that's when you can meet the faculty and prepare for your first semester. So it's just at that website there. And then the summer bridge program. So there is still some space in the Math 102 class. So the Summer Bridge program is where you can get a head start on your first semester. So you could potentially complete English 100 or Math 102 in more of a supported environment with built-in study partners, a writing lab component, things like that. And it might just make your life a little bit easier before you start. So you'd be taking one less course in your first semester. You'll get to know some of the other students and kind of get to know the university expectations and policies just a little bit ahead of time. And then first year orientation will be Monday, August 31st. Is anybody from out of town that would be attending Housing Move-In? That would be on the 28th. I think most of you are from Regina, but basically over that whole weekend, that's when move-in and orientation would be. Some different ways that you can get involved are the UN Guarantee program, which we talked about, different clubs and societies. So the engineering would have a student society, the ambassador program. Those are the students who volunteer their time and help us out with some of the events. And then there are different theater and musical productions if you're interested in that, and then also on-campus jobs. Okay, so again, congratulations, and we're super excited to see you on campus once that is allowed. But I will hand things over to Melissa now for some academic advising.
Thank you, Erica. Okay, let's talk about specifically engineering. Go ahead, Erica. Next screen. There we go, thank you. Okay, engineering has 5 different programs: electronic systems engineering, environmental, industrial, petroleum, and software. Now, a lot of people ask me, what the heck is systems engineering? Well, systems engineering is technical and non-technical skills that a successful engineer needs. So, for example, economic, social, environmental, administrative, and professional awareness are all implemented in our classes and in our degree. Interdisciplinary skills emphasize the interrelationships with people, workplace, environment, and the broader implication of engineering technology for society at large. It produces a high level of maturity and adaptability. Now, the technical side of systems is design of the whole rather than the individual parts. Technical components are interconnected and interrelated. Our engineers can design and analyze all things necessary to produce a total working system. And so what I like to use example of is building a bridge. There are many components of building a bridge. There's the transportation system that is obviously affected, but ecosystem around it is affected. The river, plants, trees, animals, people who live around there. A budget, of course, is involved when you're building a bridge. You have to have a person who administers all of this. There's team leaders involved. Bridges have different materials that have to be ordered, have to be budgeted to use this material or this material. So there's a lot of different things in building a bridge. And basically that's what systems engineering is all about. Okay, our academic advising team. There's 5 of us: Janice, Gina, myself, Colleen, and Christina. We are all undergraduate academic advisors, except Christina. She only does graduate students. And later on, I'm going to tell you who does what. Milena, she works in the general office. She is the lady you see at the window. Milena, she knows it all. She has the power and the knowledge. She can give you an override just as quickly and easily as I can. And if she can't answer an academic advising question, she will book an appointment for you to see one of us. Academic advisors, we are your teacher. We empower you to take the responsibility of your academic success. We are your mentor. We work with you to reach your goal, we guide you, help you navigate through your post-secondary career, and there's going to be lots of ebbs and flows and bumps and peaks, and we help you through all of that. We are a resource person and can help you figure out where to go for different campus services. We understand the university, the policies, the programs, all of those acronyms that you're going to learn. We know them all already, and we will definitely help you with that. All of your curricular requirements and learning opportunities that you will have at university. And we are your advocate. We are here to help you. And so whether it is with mental health, physical, I've dealt with students who've had, surgery and they had to drop classes and they missed the deadlines. And so it can be quite a sticky mess, but we are definitely here to help you. Advisee, that's you. As a student, you have some responsibilities as well with us. It's your responsibility to get to know us. And this semester, it's all going to be virtual, lots of emailing back and forth, but it's important to connect with your advisor. Be respectful of us and of our time. If you say that you're going to be available 9:30 Friday morning for a phone appointment, then please be there. It's your responsibility to ask questions, to be inquisitive, and to learn about the university and the policies from us. It's your responsibility to know those dates and deadlines like Erica was talking about, your registration dates, your ad drop dates, your final exams, your midterms, all of that. It's your responsibility to check your email. You all have uregina.ca email addresses now. And we send you a monthly e-news from engineering, and it's your responsibility to just click on that real quick, skim it over. If anything relates to you, then read it so you know what's going on. It's your responsibility to be open and be open to new ideas. And if an academic advisor suggests that you take a class and you're like, oh, no way, I don't want to take women and gender studies, well, be open to it. Maybe it's okay. So advising goes both ways. So this is what we do. Long-term program planning. All of us do that. All 5 of us do that. I specialize in planning with athletes because athletes don't take 5 classes a semester because of their training schedules, and I work with athletes with that. Any kind of academic difficulty that you have, it could be anything from how to talk to a professor, how to write an email, what to say to your what is in your class, the subject matter. Now, I'm not going to be teaching you Math 110. I barely passed it myself. But any kind of academics we will help you with. And all 5 of us do that. Probation, RTDing, so that's required to discontinue, must withdraw is an MW, ARP, and misconduct is Gina. You would go to her if you had any of those. Taking a course in another institution is called an LOP, letter of permission. You would see me for that. Don't come to me for that until your probably 8th term when you're a senior student. Transfer credits, I do transfer credits with students from other institutions. Confirmation of graduation, Janice does that. So in your last semester, you would go to Janice and make sure that you have all of your classes ready to go to graduate. Course substitutions, we will all do that. Sometimes senior students need a class and it's not available, but they need a class to graduate. And so sometimes substitutions are accepted. So that's something to see an advisor for. Timetabling is Janice. She's the queen of timetabling. And if you have any kind of timetabling issues, you would see her. Study abroad, I do. Not too many engineering students choose to go on study abroad, and you will see that later on in the presentation of why. But I do have some that do go, and it's always great stories when they come back. And then planning for co-op and internships. Colleen, she specializes in that. She's our co-op coordinator. So this is how you book it, or you would have booked an appointment if we were doing face-to-face advising. This is just our homepage. You go to advising appointment, click there. Here is a reminder of who does what. And then you just click on book an appointment. You log in and you log in and then you choose your time. Now, that's okay. Keep going, Erica. So we're obviously not doing face-to-face in the fall, but that's how you would do that. Academic advising, we have walk-ins all of the time. Again, university's closed, but send anybody an email and we'll happily reply. Okay, let's talk about classes. Much more interesting. First 2 terms are common foundation classes. Whether you have been accepted into engineering in a program already, or you were accepted as a general engineering student, you're all going to start with the same classes. They're foundation classes. And a full load is 5 classes plus labs and seminars. Most classes will have a lab or a seminar. And some of our electronics classes have both a lab and a seminar. Labs are once a week, alternating weeks. They can be 1 hour or maximum 3 hours. A lab is just like a class, okay? There's midterms, there's a final exam, there's weekly assignments. You have to be in the lab. A lot of labs have attendance. And so if you miss X number of labs, you're out, you failed the lab. And if you failed the lab, you failed the class, okay? A lab doesn't have credit hours. If a class has a lab attached to it, that class is 3 credit hours, and that's it. 5 classes plus 4 labs might feel like 9 classes, because remember, a lab has all of that those class requirements, just like a class does, right? And so Erica suggested 30 hours a week of preparation and homework and reading for 15 credit hours. That's 15, that's about 2 hours. I always say it's more like 45 hours. Anyway, it is a full-time job. Classes and labs are definitely a full-time job. Okay, this is the program. This is an industrial systems engineering program template on the left of the screen. Now we'll take some time with this. On the left of the screen, you'll see term 1 all the way down to term 9. So engineering has 9 terms to complete the degree. This is a 5-5 program, so that means 5 classes in each semester. If you take a close look between term 2 and 3, there's a spring break in there, or a spring semester that you don't have classes. Okay, yeah, right there. This program plan is available to you by advisors only. You can find the programs in the UR calendar, but not with the prerequisites. Engineering is all about prerequisites. You can't take Math 111 until you have 110. And I always tell students, engineering is like building a house. You have to start with a strong, solid foundation, and that's term 1 and 2. It's your general math classes, your general engineering classes, English 100 is important. And then you get that strong, solid foundation for term 1 and 2. You finish when you're building your house, right? You have to finish your first floor before you start the second floor, right? So, and then you build your third floor, and then you specialize at the rooftop. So that's classes building on each other. First Math 110, then Math 111, then Math 217. Okay, so it's all about prerequisites. Let's go to the right of the screen. So in your first term, there's Chemistry 104, Engineering 123, which is a design and communication class. Engineering 140, it's a statics class, mechanics for engineers, statics. Math 110 is your calculus, and 122 is linear algebra. So those 5 classes are your first semester classes. Now, when you're looking at term 2, the requirements that you absolutely have to take in term 1 will be Math 110 and Eng 140, because in term 2, you need 111 and Physics 119. You always have to look ahead, always look ahead to see what's coming up and what classes can I maybe leave by the wayside, and what classes do I absolutely have to take. So all of you students coming from grade 12, unless you have AP credits, you're going to take five of those classes in your first semester. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Math 102. Okay, you can choose to do Math 102 in addition to Math 110. The university realizes that many of you did your math calculus 30 in your second semester, and you probably had 6 or 7 weeks of that class until we all were told to go home and the schools closed. So the Summer Bridge program, what Erica was talking about earlier, is offering Math 102 as well as English 100. It is not mandatory that you take 102, but if your math skills are weak, or you just want to have a really successful Math 110, then it's recommended that you do the Math 102 in the Summer Bridge program. Now, you can also take Math 102 in the fall if you choose. Okay, the difference between taking Math 102 in the Summer Bridge program and 102 in the fall is that the Summer Bridge program, half the time you are learning about the university and the services, and there will be extra tutoring that is available to you through SBP that isn't in Math 102 in the fall. So they are a little bit different. But definitely something to consider. Now, if you're going to take Math 102 in the fall, then you're going to have to take Math 110 in the winter. And then your scheduling starts to shift and juggle and change, and that's when you have to come and see an advisor about that. There's also spring tutorials that will be offered through the Faculty of Science. August 24th to the 28th. They are chemistry, physics, trig, and algebra. And you can just go to the physics or the Faculty of Science website and register there. Those are 1 3-hour sessions per subject. And it's just sort of a quick run through of chemistry, and just to help you jog your memory of what chemistry is before you start Chem 104. Okay, engineering also has a 4-4 program. It is much slower and more steady. There's no spring break. So I just have term 1, 2, and 3 here. This is, I think, of an ISE program. See the difference between term 2, and then there's a first spring and summer term. So there is no break. And then you go straight into your next fall term. If you're interested in the 4-4 program, you must let me know. We will work closely with you. And it is a new program for everybody. And so we ask that you let us know and that we'll work with you. You're not locked in. Some students, they start their first 2 terms with 4 classes, and then they say, hey, this isn't bad. I'll try 5, and that's certainly doable as well. These, just back, these classes, they all have prerequisites just like the 5-5 program. As you can see, term 1 here, Eng 140 and Math 110 are absolutely necessary, because term 2, you need Math 111 and Physics 119, okay? So that's it. Okay. Okay, selecting a major. Most of you, like I said, are in engineering general. You can declare your major after you've completed 8 classes from the first 2 terms. And 4 of those classes have to be Eng 100, 123, and 140, and English 100. If you take 5 classes in term 1 and 5 in term 2, you can declare your major by April the 1st. How do you choose your major? Well, talk to your profs, talk to senior students. Some students go to career counselors in the Career Center. You can talk to Colleen, who's our co-op coordinator, and she can talk to you about what kind of jobs students in the particular programs go to. Talk to your family. Maybe you have cousins or aunts or uncles, or your mom or your dad are engineers, and they can certainly give you more of an understanding of what engineers do. I have a colleague, he's actually an environmental lab instructor, and he says that if you look anywhere, all over, it doesn't matter where you are, in your house, sitting in a class, whatever, everywhere you look, an engineer was involved in building that or designing that. The air in your house, or the air conditioning, the heating, ergonomics of your chair, maybe the computer that's sitting in front of you, or your iPhone. So you look anywhere and an engineer has been involved with it. So there's a lot out there, and some things don't even realize an engineering education is required. I had a student who was this is a side, I had a student who was interested in cosmetology, but he was told that he had to be an engineer. And so we talked about it, and we went online, and he chose chemical engineering to help create, design makeup. So that's what he did. And also there was a story about a chemical engineer who worked at Old Dutch Chips and made all of that great flavor that goes on your favorite Doritos. So engineering is everywhere. Cooperative education. Okay, it's too bad that Colleen couldn't be here with us today. Apparently Sask Power is on her street, and she has no internet, but we offer cooperative education. There are 4 work terms and 9 semesters sequenced over 4 years and 8 months. So it takes a little bit longer to finish your degree if you're in the co-op program. You may work after you complete term 3, okay? Not all students start working in term 3. Sometimes they'll don't find a job, for example, and then they'll start working in term 4, and that's okay too. You need a 60 plus PGPA is a program grade point average. You need all 4 of those classes listed there. You have to finish your first 3 terms, like I said, and you have to be currently registered in 4 classes. 60 is the magic number in engineering. You need a 60 PGPA. Every semester you need a 60. And your overall grade point average has to be a 60. So sometimes, you know, your classes, you could get a 70 and a 50 and an 80 and a 54. And as long as your UGPA, or your overall grade point average, is still above 60, you're okay. And that class that you got 54 in, that's okay too. You passed, just as long as your GPA is 60. And that's co-op. Internship is a little bit different than co-op. Internship you would do after your 7th term of academics, and you would go and work for 12 to 16 months. Whereas co-op, you have 4 short work terms. They're 1 semester in length, and a co-op, you can work in 4 different companies, or you can work in 2. Internship, you're only at 1 company for 8 to 16 months. I've had students that have worked all across Canada. You're not bound to Regina or Saskatchewan. You can work anywhere. Internship is like co-op. You need a 60. You have to complete all 7 terms. 72 to 102 credit hours. So if you have anything exceeding that, then you've missed out on internship. And then registered. And those are just some of the companies that we've sent students to for co-ops and internships. Okay, the second part of this presentation is about registration and Visual Schedule Builder and UR Self-Service. So Visual Schedule Builder, some of you might have been playing around on it already. It's found in UR Self-Service, and it is timetabling organization, what classes to take, when to take them. It's all just about organizing your classes. This is a screenshot of VSB, but I will go into it and show you how it works. Okay. And that's just a screenshot of where to go in UR Self-Service. So I'm going to do a share screen. Oh, Erica, you have to, there we go. Okay, so this is the U of R homepage. You go up to UR Self-Service, and you put in your student ID. I just had to touch my finger there. And first time you're logging in, it would be your birthday. It tells you that. You go to Student Services and Registration. And here, Visual Schedule Builder. You select your term. We want fall 2020. And here we go. So, first class we need is Chem 104. And if you spell it correctly, that helps. Oh my goodness. There we go. 104. Huh? Okay, what's this
I
doing?
think it's doing that thing where it auto corrects it. So you'll
Okay,
have to just scroll down,
scroll down. Oh,
maybe. Oh, it's on.
oh, now it is fine. Oh my gosh, is that ever annoying?
So I guess take note of that for any Mac users when you're doing that on a MacBook. It tries to auto correct it. So you'll have to either take off that setting or just kind of go and
Or try another class. Let's do math. We'll get to Chem. Okay, so you plug in Math 110. It's absolutely necessary that everyone takes Math 110, okay, because it's a prereq for next semester. Now, some things about what you see here, okay? This is just the class, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2:30 to 3:20. You see that also in the schedule here. LEC 001 is lecture 001. You see that there's 107 seats taken, and there's 108 seats in this class. Okay, so there's 1 seat left to take in this class. All classes have a CRN. That's this little number right here, and that's the number you need to register. Down here is your shopping list, and that's, or your shopping cart, and that's where your CRNs of each class and each lab are. So this math class has a lab, and here's the lab, and I just switched it, but that's okay. Then you will see that you can choose different classes. Okay, these arrows up here at the top, if you click them, it will choose different classes at different times. Okay, there's an evening class. 47 students are registered in that class, so a lot more seats are available. I want to show you this class, for example. Okay, there's always going to be a note here, okay, attributes or a note. And here it says ENGL science students only, okay? You are not an English student or a science student from Luther. L10, it's a Luther code. So you really have to watch those notes here, okay? Here's a note, engineering only. So science student cannot take this class. It's an engineering only class. Now, if you want to take this class because you like the time better and it fits, then you may choose that class as long as there is no restriction to the class. Okay, so when you're taking Math 110, you also have to do, now it's not.
So Ben said if you just press escape, it shouldn't autocorrect it.
Okay, I did, and that's what happened. Escape. Okay, let's just try Eng 140. Oh, hey, ha! Thanks, Ben. Okay, and see, you can teach me something and I can teach you something. Okay, Eng 140. There is two classes here. Let me just go back, scroll back here. If you click down there, there's a lecture 1, seminar 081, and there's a lecture 2. So watch the right of the screen, what happens when I choose lecture 1. It will move and it will put a red pin in that. The red pin means that it won't move. You can play around with these and only your math is going to move. Okay. And if you pin this, it goes 1 to 1. Nothing is going to move. It's all pinned per se. You click it again. There you go. Unpin it. Okay. Let's add. Is this going to work? And 1, 2, 3. Oh, Ben, you rock. Okay. And 1, 2, 3. There is only one lecture and one lab that's offered, so that's all that comes up. Math 122. Math 122. You scroll down. Look at that. That's full. There is a wait list. That means if you look here, 3 students are on the wait list, and the wait list only has 10 students allowed to wait to get into that class. Now, there's also a note here. Currently, there are no arrangements of this course and Eng 123 such that there is an open seat in each. So that means that the math 122 classes are they're full. If we take 1, 2, 3 out, then we probably have, yeah, only that one available. The other ones were full there and there. Now, you can get on the waiting list. It's only June and there's always lots of movement. There was only 3 students on that waiting list. So now this math class is engineering only. So why doesn't 1, 2, 3 fit? Oops. How come that doesn't fit? I will figure that out. Pin it. Okay, so it's this engineering lab that's causing the problem with that math class that's still open. So, let's keep going. What other class was there? Oh, what am I missing? Oh, that Chem 104. There's that Fem again. Can I go like that? Okay, there's Chem. Now I believe the Chem 7 o'clock is the only one that's has room. And see the lecture 004, there are 134 seats taken. There's 6 seats left. Oh my goodness, I haven't checked this in a while. Lab 090, that's this one that's shown here, is full, but there's probably other labs that are open. This number here, the generated results, you can flick through here 70 times, okay? Different combinations of classes, okay? To see what combination you like and what classes have seats. I do not recommend that you do that unless you have lots of time on your hands. Choose classes like this Math 110 Lecture 003. It's an engineering only class. So you want to register for that class. So pin it. Now, when I pin this, watch what happens to generated results. Generated results goes down to 20 different combinations. So pinning lessens your results. Okay. Engineering 1, 2, 3, there's only one class. It's not going to change your results. That Math 122 that is on the screen, it is full. So if you go to the right of the screen, all Math 122 classes are this one. No results. That's what happens when there is a time conflict. So I wanted to choose a Math 122 class, and the 122 class that I did choose was a time conflict with Eng 123, and this is the screen that you would see, no results. So in that case, what I tell students to do is unpin your classes, and then it will open up again. 123, I would say is more important to take than Math 122 right now, because 123 is required for you to declare your major. You can always take Math 122 in the winter. So I don't know how many of you have registered, if you've looked around, if you've, but let's just say me, I'll be a student and I don't want to take that math because it's just not working. I go to the term 2 and let's see, what can I take in term 2? Let's put an English 100 in there. So there's 174 different combinations because there's 68 different English 100 classes. So that's a lot of results. I'd pin this chem because that's one of the only chem classes I think that's open. So it went down to 16. Everything is pinned except English. And then you can flip through the 16 and see what fits. You don't see English on here, but it's listed here. So if you scroll down, English is off campus. Sometimes when it's, you don't want to go to La Ronge to take a class. And sometimes when it's listed here at the bottom, but it's not on the schedule here, it's an online class, okay? These little sticks here are your final exams and how they are spaced out. It's just a different visual. All of the final exams are listed here in the colored part of the class information here. So, let's see. There is no English and what's going on. Web delivered. Forrest Taylor, that's full. What Colleen, when she does this presentation, she clicks this full classes. She doesn't want full classes listed, so she'll click this, click it off. And how come it doesn't go off? There's no results. So all English classes are full? No, couldn't be. Waitlistable. There we go. There's an English class that fits just lovely before Chem Lab, and 22 seats taken, 35 are available. Scott Wilson is the prof. Check out these notes. Oh, here it says, must also register in philosophy, 150. This is a journalism bundle. So you can't take that class. So you can go here and check something else out. No combination. You can get onto a wait list. You can get on a wait list, and maybe English is totally not available either. A lot of students ask me about classes and how they are being offered in the fall. All classes are remote deliver, okay, remotely delivered. That is different from an online class. Okay, remote delivery is when you have to go in at 8:30 into a Zoom meeting room, or however your prof has it set up, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8:30, and you go to your class, quote, class. Okay, an online class is completely different. You can go in, read the material at midnight if you wanted to. So it's very different. And that's why when you're registering for the fall, you have to do all of this timetabling stuff. Okay. English. Well, that Math 122 is bothering me. We can, that's it for, oh, hang on. Now we have to register. So you figured out your classes. Here is your shopping cart. Each class and each lab have a CRN, okay? I always tell students to open up another screen, and U of R, and you go into UR self-service, student services, registration. Here, add drop search for classes. And that's where you will add in from Visual Schedule Builder. You can copy and paste each one. Unfortunately, I have to do it individually, and then bounce between your screens. Now, I can't go further than this, submit, and that's it. I'm a staff person and I have a hold on my account, and I can't, but from this screen, you guys will plug in all of those CRNs, and then there's a submit. Now, you might have an error message, and if you can't figure it out, then email me. That's absolutely no problem. Sometimes I have to give you an override, or I'll just register you. So I think we can open up the mics now. I'm done with the VSB and the registration part of it. And if anyone has any questions, we can answer them now.